Good morning from Amsterdam. My name is Jason Slagle, and I want to talk to you for a couple minutes about ideal client profile and why this very much matters in the security space. So, what is ideal customer profile, or also called target customer profile? It's this concept in our space that we define what type of customer we're looking for, right? We're going to define a size, and there are breakout points of the sizes that are typically covered, such as less than 10 employees, 10 to 25, 25 to 100, 100 to 500, and then greater than 500. It also might be a vertical depending on your industry. There are a lot of people in the space that have talked a long time about how important it is to do it, but it's something that, as I work with MSPs, ourselves included, for a long time, it was something that we kind of just ignored, right? It's one of those all revenue is good revenue sort of things. In general, it matters because it allows you to align the tools and the stack that you're using. And I'm using that dirty word stack. It allows us to align the things that we provide to the client with what a client of a size needs. And as we get into the security space, that becomes way more important than it is as a general MSP. The reason that is, it's possible to provide too little or too much security for your clients, right? For instance, if I'm a $500,000 a year small business, right? I'm one of 14 million of those in the country, right? However, I probably don't need the same level of coverage as a 2,500 person mid-market enterprise does. At the risk of angering some people in our space, I would generally argue that if you have a decent EDR, MDR, and you're running Microsoft 365 Business Premium, you're probably okay at $500,000 worth of revenue, right? There's some configuration and stuff I'd like to see happen there, right? But you probably don't need 24/7 SOC. Your requirements for a SIM are really light, if any. Because you just don't have that much for a threat actor to bother with. However, if you're a 1,000-person organization with, $200 million in revenue or $100 million in revenue, you're a pretty big target. And those things that you don't need, you suddenly do, right? And it may become the case that even something like Business Premium isn't enough, and we want to start looking at something like a Entra ID P2, so we can have the risk-based sign-ins and all the other things that come with that, right? And for those reasons, it's vitally important as a service provider that you align the services that you provide security-wise with clients of a given size. Our company, we target roughly 15 to about 150. We'll take bigger, right? Like but it's almost always a co-managed agreement. And in those cases, I don't think I would take bigger where I was fully responsible for security, because again, the tools we provide aren't good enough. We do have some clients that are smaller than that, but the exception that proves the rule, and I believe there always is one, is regulated industries, right? And in that case, it is 100% the case that 10-person, that 5-person entity, the cost to them if they have an incident is considerably higher. So it's worth the extra money to them to ensure that they have a higher level of protection that they would otherwise need. Anyways, that's what I got for you today. Thank you very much.